Gordon Hayward is a good player. I would take Gordon Hayward on my team. Let's not get that twisted. I would love to have Gordon Hayward in teal and purple. But for 15 mil a year, he can go kick rocks. Gordon Hayward is not that good of a player to be paying max money to. Now, if I want to max somebody out, I'm gonna max Lance Stephenson out. That's what I'm gonna max out. And
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some NBA with the thousands of True School Sports and subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, in recent news, the New Orleans Pelicans are in need of some guard help, and they have signed Lance Stephenson to a 1-year deal. Now, if you guys don't know, Jrue Holiday is expected to miss some time. He's going to be with his wife, Rachel, who's going through a brain surgery following the birth of his child that took place this fall. So Jrue Holiday will not be playing basketball for the Pelicans to start the season. But with that being said, they signed Lance Stephenson. They needed guard help. And listen, when you look at the way the Pelicans are structured, I always said that I remember when Lance Stephenson was on the Hornets, and as you guys saw in the clip before this video started 2 years ago, when we had the choice of getting Gordon Hayward and Lance Stephenson. Gordon Hayward had a down year going into that offseason. Lance Stephenson was on a Pacers team that just went to the Eastern Conference Finals, and he was a huge part of that team. So I was high on Lance Stephenson. I bought into the hype. I thought he was going to be the kind of guy that could push the Hornets franchise to the next level. Obviously, you guys know what happened. That didn't happen. Lance Stephenson became an enigma, was terrible on the Hornets, shot a worst three-point percentage of like any player per certain three-point field goal attempts. I forgot what the stat was, but he shot like the worst three-point percentage ever for a guard. And it was just a huge disappointment. Probably the worst signing in history of Hornets basketball. And he's bounced around since then. He had some stops with the Clippers, had a stop with the Grizzlies, and now we find him here with the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, Lance has developed a very bad reputation. I don't think his game hasn't really matured, and he hasn't really been the same since he left Indiana. But one thing that we cannot lose sight of when we talk about Lance Stephenson was that in Memphis, coming off the bench, being a guy that had more freedom with the basketball in his hand. He had some success with the Memphis Grizzlies last year. In 26 games that he played in the Grizzlies uniform, he averaged 14 points per game, shot just under 48% from the field, and just under 36% from the three-point line. He was averaging just under 3 assists off the bench, 3.6 rebounds. Lance was having a good year for the Grizzlies, and I believe he was a huge reason why they were able to get into the playoffs, ironically enough. So that being said, Lance Stephenson, I still think can be a guy that helps the NBA team out. He's 26 years old, but he's got to be a team player as far as not wanting to jack up shots and over dribble. Now he's on a team where I feel his game could fit really well because Lance could pass really well. Lance is a great rebounder for being a guard. Lance, I'm not gonna ever say he's a good shooter, but in isolation situations, he's a guy that can create his own shot. Which on the Pelicans I think is great because they have some good scorers on that team. Tyreek Evans, Buddy Hield now that they just drafted. You also have the likes of Langston Galloway off the bench. They also got Etuan Moore. So the Pelicans are going to have a good roster. I think there's some good pieces that are going to allow Lance Stephenson to fit. But I think for me, this is my personal opinion, I think this is his last chance in the NBA. Because, you look at Indiana, he was successful. Then the Hornets, in an effort to try to push the franchise forward and compete with the Miami Heat at the time in the Eastern Conference. Or I should say the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference, and LeBron James. They got signed Lance Stephenson, and it ultimately didn't work out for the Hornets. Then he goes from the Hornets to the Clippers. That little experiment with him and Josh Smith coming off the bench didn't work. Goes to Memphis, has success. So what I'm saying is he's just been to many places, and he's developed a reputation as a locker room cancer. And it's just tough to stay in the league when you have that reputation. And if you're not producing on the court, teams are going to can you. And I think this is his last chance. If you can't get it right playing with a talent like Anthony Davis, other talented players such as Tyreek Evans and Buddy Hield and Langston Galloway. You know, these are suitable pieces to work with for Lance Stephenson. If you can't get this right, I think this is it for him. So, do I think he'll be successful? I can't really say. I don't know. It depends on how focused he really is coming into this year. But if there was a team that fits Lance Stephenson's game, I think this might be one of the top teams that does. So we'll see what happens, man. I think it could be a huge contributor for that Pelicans lineup in the second unit. If they pair him up with Anthony Davis to run pick and rolls up top, you know, that would really work out well for them. So we'll see what happens, man. But I'm interested to see how this whole Lance Stephenson Pelicans experiment works out. And best wishes to Lance. Always been a fan of his game, dating back to his days in Indiana. You know, as you guys saw in the clip, I was nuts for Lance Stephenson. I wanted him on the Hornets so bad, and then we got him, and then nothing really happened. But looking back on it, now it's kind of good that it did happen because then we got Nicholas Batum, who's helped Kemba Walker's game majorly. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Lance Stephenson going to the Pelicans. Do you think this move will benefit the Pelicans and make them better? And can Lance Stephenson finally get it right and put it all together in New Orleans? Leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.